Hello and welcome to day 73 of 365 days of Facebook Live. Welcome. My name is Jessica Lozano and I am a women's relationship coach and feminine embodiment mentor, and I help women have extraordinary love lives with the love of their life. Call in, become the vessel that is an energetic match for their sacred union partner if you are a single woman. And if you're in this relationship, really have electrifying relationship, passion, and amazing sex. So my nose is really itchy. I have to itch it. Okay, so I want to talk to you today about something that is really important when it comes to women who are wanting to access more pleasure in their relationship with their man, with their partner, or if you're not with a man and a partner and you're single and you're on this journey of this part of your feminine awakening where you can feel that there is a sexual suppression that's happening in your body. My nose keeps itching. I really don't want to itch it because it looks really funny. So, in this place where you want to access more pleasure in your life. You want to awaken this part of your body that has become suppressed. So first of all, I want to address this, that you don't need a man to start accessing more pleasure with you. If you're single right now and you've noticed that you have this sexual suppression, you notice that there's a little bit of a numbness there. You don't need a man to awaken that part of you. He can take you deeper than you can take yourself. Because if it is the man that is a conscious man, who is an awakened man, who is a good man, who wants to be a great man. These men, okay, not every man, this man can take you deeper than you can take yourself. Because it's two coming together, two sovereign, beautiful, delicious souls coming together and magnifying your energy together. And in order for this to happen, it always begins with the relationship you have with yourself. It always begins with the relationship you have with you. It's like, the best way that I can explain it is that when you're a codependent and you're always in relationship, you don't know who you are until you actually take time to be alone. Until you actually take time to discover yourself separate from a man. It's the same thing with your sexuality. You have to know who you are, separate your sex, your relationship to your pussy, to your womb, to your breast, to your body, all the sensations in your body, separate from a man. It's a completely different experience, and you create deeper intimacy with yourself. Just like a woman or even a man who's codependent and realizes this and then becomes independent, becomes sovereign, you have more to offer in a relationship because you're coming with your complete self. You're not coming from this part of you that is lacking, which is why people become codependent, right? Because there's a place that is lacking with them that thinks that they will get it from another man, from their partner. They will extract it from their partner. They will be very clingy and needy from their partner, versus self-sourcing love, versus being independent. And yes, you do need to have interdependency in a relationship, but that's different from codependent and being very dependent on somebody, right? So it's the same thing with your relationship with your body and sex. You will be more full in yourself, that you have more to offer in your relationship with your man when it comes to sex. You will be more self-sourced. Your sexual pleasure and the ability for you to feel sensations running through your entire body will be already magnified, that when he comes in, he just amplifies it even more. So one of the things I want to share with you, what happened to me today. And it was like, as I did this practice today, I was like, oh my God, yes, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, that has that creates the pathway for more ecstasy with your partner. So I'm doing a Yoni Sadhana practice, a 40-day Yoni Sadhana practice, which means for 40 days, I have not been doing it in a row. I've had some couple of things. My life has been very weird. Like this neck thing is still bothering me. It's starting to really affect like my eyes and my ability to think because of I think the nerves are just getting there. It's affecting my workouts. It's affecting my sex life because I have to be very careful with my neck because I don't want to re-injure it, right? So it's been really annoying. But my point in saying that is that I haven't been able to do 40 days in a row. But I do have a very strong intention to go every single day as much as possible. And plus, I am moving into our new home soon. So my life has been very rattly, and that's part of life. And I'm being gentle and compassionate and giving myself grace as someone who says when she's going to do something, she's going to do it, that it's okay if I miss a date, especially something like a Yoni Sadhana practice, which requires you to feel safe in your environment and safe with yourself and to be in a state of relaxation. Unlike this 365 days that I can really keep that commitment because I can do it anywhere. It doesn't really matter what's happening. It doesn't require safety per se. So with this one, I am giving myself grace and not being like a hard ass on having to do it exactly in a row. Which is part of the feminine principle, feminine principle is also chaotic. So here we have it. All right. Or disruptive. So, as I'm preparing back to the Yoni Sadhana, I was feeling myself that was in my head a lot. I was like, I need to get in my body. I had messaged some clients. I had worked out. I have spoken with people during the day. So I felt like I was like in my head. I'm like, I need to get in my body. So I put music on, like, you know what? I think I really need to do some kind of sensual movement as much as I can because this neck thing is really irritating me and it's hard for me to like move my body in all the ways that feel really good to me. And a breast massage. Like I've been really wanting to do a breast massage and I haven't committed to it. Let's be honest. I've had time. I just haven't committed to it. And so to set up the scene, I put music on. I put this really sensual music on as I started to prepare for my day. This is something that I shifted. Normally, when I'm going to go into a practice, I set up the space and then I put the music on. But this time I was like, you know what? I think I need to, as I'm setting up the space and as I'm getting ready, I'm preparing my mind and my body of what I'm going into. What if I put the music on first? And that kind of allows me to get into the vibes as I'm preparing everything. It'll be less of a hard shift, like less of a hard masculine shift. And like the feminine can be in there seducing her way in. I was like, this is perfect. So I put the music on. I'm taking a shower. I have the music on a speaker so I can hear it everywhere, right? I have the house to myself. No one's home. Perfect. Feeling the music. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dancing as much as I possibly can because my neck, and that was a little frustrating, but I was like, all right, let's just one song. This feels good. And then I'm setting up my altar right in front of the mirror and all the things. And I'm like, breast massage. Yes, let's do a breast massage. So I had this new breast massage oil and I was like, let's use this. So I lay on the bed because it was more comfortable for my neck. And I have the music on and I open up the breast massage oil and it's like, smell it. This heart chakra opening oil, the floral smell is like penetrating in my nose, and like I dripped the tincture onto my body and like, oh, it feels so warm, feels so good. And like the music, and I'm like, yes. And just really caressing my body, massaging my body, right? So I'm moving this energy, I'm getting into it. And the way I do breast massage, especially for something like this, is more about intuitive feeling. It's not about necessarily moving the lymphatic tissue around my breast, but more about connecting with my heart, connecting with my body, and intuitively allowing my hands to go where it wants to go. Then I found my hands like up around my neck. I was like, oh my God, ooh, this feels kind of good. Like, oh, and it was like right here, right at the bottom, right? Your throat chakra I don't think it's actually here. I think your throat chakra is actually like right more around here. I thought it was like right at the center, but I think it's actually down here. I think I read that somewhere. Can't remember where, but please correct me if I am wrong. And I was like, ooh, this is interesting. So I'm really getting into the music, and my hands go to my womb, right? So I'm not touching any, besides my breast, I'm not touching anything that's really highly sexual, okay? I'm going down into my womb, and I feel the sensations as if when my man touches me in my stomach area, there's like a lot of sensations that I feel, and I go down to my womb, and I'm like, oh, pulsating, electrifying energy is coming. I'm going up to my stomach around my solar plexus, right? So my sacral chakra, I'm feeling the energy. My solar plexus chakra, I'm feeling the energy. I come up to my breast, heart chakra, feeling this electrifying sensation. And then boom, I go up to my throat again, and I feel it again in my throat chakra. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. The channels are open. The front channels are open. It's like my chakras are open. It is ready for the practice. It's ready. It's open. If I was going to engage in intimacy with my man, I would have been fully open. And it reminded me of the practices that women need to do in order for them to unlock deeper levels of pleasure, unlock sex that feels so good, where it's not underwhelming, it is so delicious, so magnificent, and even transcendental. And to be able to access more pleasure with him. Because here's the things. I have women who come to me, and well, this is probably a different subject, actually. That's a different subject. But let's talk about, yeah, that's a completely different subject. But let's go back to this. What I was going to talk about is about being able to have high amounts of ecstasy with yourself, but not being able to access it with your partner. That's a completely different subject. It's actually more about the safety that you feel with your partner. And you can even have a good, safe man, and you can still not have that. That's a different layer. Okay, so back to this, right? So when I was on my journey of sexual awakening, when I was feeling like sex was just, it was okay. It was okay. It was good in the beginning. Of course, it's going to feel good in the beginning. It's a new sensation that you're experiencing with somebody. Sex is always going to feel really good in the beginning of a relationship. So it's not about the beginning. It's about when you're in a long-term relationship and the newness goes away and settles into the long-term container. It is intentional for you to create great sex with your partner. It is an intentional practice. It is an intentional practice for your whole relationship to feel extraordinary and not ordinary. So, for me, and this is what we'll be teaching you inside of Sex Priestess, which officially launched yesterday. So excited. I'm so excited to continue to drip out more information, more content, more pieces where you're just like, woo, yes, girl, sign me up. I am so in for this Sex Priestess. Activate the Sex Priestess within me. So with my partner, I knew that I had to create a sovereign relationship with my body, with sex specifically. I've created a sovereign relationship with my identity and who I am as a woman and what I'm building for myself and co-creating for myself in my life, in the world, where I'm unapologetically claiming my desires and die on the grave for my desires versus settle for my life. Okay, so I have that sovereign shit in me. It's raining again, Florida. Now, this was another part. This sacred sexuality was another part. I knew that I needed to be sovereign in my sexuality and to create a relationship with my body, because I've never done that before. In my entire life of me relating to my body and to sex and to my yoni has always been connected with a man. Has always been connected with a man. Never did I develop. Have I masturbated? Sure, with the vibrator? Yes, but that's not a relationship with your body. Self-pleasure and getting acquainted with your beautiful, precious, tender, vulnerable pussy is so different than just a quick orgasm. That is not doing of any service to you and your relationship to sex and how the level of depth and pleasure you can have with him. And it does nothing to your relationship with sex and God. So, practices like this will unlock levels. So when I first started doing practices like this, I didn't feel much. That's how numb or lack of sensation that I felt with my own hands touching just my womb. All right, we're not even talking about your yoni. I'm talking about your womb and your breast and your stomach and your the level of electrifying sensations that I felt was like, oh, this is so good. Can't wait to transfer this with Ron. Can't wait to share with him what I felt, what I experienced today in my own practice. And here's the thing. Your man, a good, conscious, awakened man that wants to do right by you, that wants to become a great man alongside of you, including a great lover to you. He can only take you further than what you allow to take yourself. What do I mean by that? You have to continue to access these pleasure places within you so that he can take you even deeper within that. Because when he feels you, he can take you deeper. If he cannot feel you, you're not giving him, as a man would think, data and information for him to like. And I'm not talking about performative. I think this can be very misconstrued. I'm making a post about this. I'm like, this can sound a little bit misconstrued perhaps. It's not about being performative. I'm not talking about being performative like you see in the, industry. I'm not talking about that because that's fake. He can sense when you're somewhat faking it, right? I'm talking about when you are really into it and his can feel that sensation, can feel the level of intimacy that you're having with yourself and with his phallus inside of you. Do you get what I'm saying? When he feels you in that way, it erects his masculine inspiration to want to give you more, and it awakens something within him as well, where he has more access to pleasure through you. And this is what can lead to transcendental orgasm and sex, where you and your partner are like, oh my God, what was that? That felt different. I felt something different in that moment. It's all about the level that he can feel you, and all across the board. So we are going to be working on this inside of Sex Priestess. This is for the sensual woman who's looking to deepen her relationship with her erotic pleasure and spiritually connect to her feminine sexuality and have transcendental sexual experiences with God and her king. This is not just about sex. I will be taking you deeper into your relationship with God, and I have had some profound moments with God through this relationship of connecting with my body, through yoni de-armoring, through feeling his presence. And I want to guide you so that you can have these types of experiences for yourself. It will release any shame that you have around sex. And this is why I named this Sex Priestess, because I didn't want it to be something that is just a woman. This is beyond just tools and tricks and things like that to access more. Like I have so much more depth inside of me, and where the women who work with me are like, oh my God, this work is, I go deep because I'm not, my work is not shallow. I'm a deep person. And I want to take you to these levels where you are spiritually connected with sex. You are releasing shame around sex. And you can access wisdom. You can access God. You can access high levels of ecstasy. You can access clarity and direction and creation of what you want to create in your life, manifestation through your body. And of course, translate this with your man, because here's the thing. Sex is sacred. Sex is sacred. It is not this thing that has been exploited in the world. This is not what sex is. It was never meant to be created and shown the way that it is. It is highly holy, and it is radically powerful. And I want you to feel that. I want you to feel the holiness and the divinity of your body and your pussy and sex. So, if you are interested, the link is in the description. It is $699 right now for early bird. I don't know the expiration date of early bird. After early bird, we're going to full price, which is $999. You can have payment plan of $277 for 3 months. 3-month payment plan for $277. If you pay in full, you get a one-on-one call with me that you can use from now and all the way throughout the duration of the program. So we begin July 27th and it completes sometime in December. Because it's like the last week of July, then it's all of August. And then somewhere in September it finishes. And it includes tripping pleasure. So you will get that immediately. So you can start accessing these different places of pleasure within you and start getting into the work. What else do I want to share about it? It is, we will have our own private Telegram chat. So there will be 3 live teaching transmissions. Then we have 3 coaching calls. This is just coaching calls to ground energy, to talk about what you've been going through, any spontaneous transmissions that want to come through with me, any live somatic work that I want to do with you are going to be on these coaching calls. To continue to integrate. This is going to be a very high touch container. So this is going to really, I'm limiting this to 10 women. I'm limiting this only to 10 women. I don't want to go past that because I want to be able to have access to you and really talk about these things. And I don't want it to get overwhelming, and 10 women would be perfect for that. I don't want to get it overwhelming for me or for you. And this is a mistress mind. This isn't meant to have like 20 women inside of it. This is meant to be very intimate, especially on this topic. I want it to be intimate. So only 10 women, which means we only have 6 spaces left. 4 women are already in. So we have 6 spaces left. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me. We will be doing some yoni de-armoring practices. So you will need a yoni wand. If you already have one, awesome. If you want to get another one, go ahead and grab a different one that you've been really wanting to work with. I highly recommend that. If you are new to yoni wands, it is a crystal that is shaped as like a phallus, and we do it. It's like a pressure point for your yoni where we're going to release stuck traumas, stuck emotions. So this is going to get very deep, which is exactly why I want this to be very intimate. I want this to be supportive. And we need to have a lot of emotional responsibility for going into this work. What else? Yeah, so I will send you the link upon registration. You will get an email and I will send you a link of where to get the yoni crystal wands, and you pick the one that you feel is it's an intuitive thing. Really listen into your intuition of what feels good and exactly with what length and all of that. What else do I want to share about this? Yeah, that's about like the only other thing that you will really need. You will need some oils like coconut oil, but these are easy things that you can just get at your grocery store. This is the one thing that you will have to have. You want to have it ordered and ready to come in when it gets time to go into this practice. You will need like a mirror, and I do send you some things that you will that are suggested for you to amplify your experience. And you do need to make sure you have a safe space for you to work with this energy, which if you're tapping into this, I'm pretty sure you are and you want to dive more. I think you already know that you need to have a safe environment, but I want to make that very clear. You need to be in a safe environment and ready to unlock this energy. Because the feminine, we're really getting into deep feminine work here. So the feminine really needs the safety for her to open up, or else we don't want to re-traumatize ourselves or open up this energy in an environment that's not safe and that's not safe. Meaning your home, meaning where you're going to be doing these practices, meaning where there's maybe a lot of chaotic energy. If that's the situation right now, don't do it. When I was living here before with my father, and Ron, before Ron came, I had to pause all my feminine practices because it did not feel right for me to open up this energy because I didn't have the containment that I needed. If I lived on my own, obviously that's different. If it was just me and my sister, obviously that's different. But love my father, but he has anxious energy, and I knew that I would be opening myself up, and I needed to have that masculine frame, and I didn't have that here in this house. And as soon as Ron came here, I just felt my body just relax, like, oh my God, this is what I needed. And I started to go into my feminine practices, which we're gonna move this weekend, and I'm so excited because even more so I'm gonna have like more space to do it. It's difficult in the situation when you're sharing a room and an office. Ron works from home 3 times a week, and with 2 other people. So the time that I have to do my practices are very limited. So I'm really excited to move into our house so I can really start so diving in there, which I want to so bad. So but I'm making do work. So that's a very important disclaimer that maybe I should probably put on my landing page. So that's all I have to say for today. If you have any questions, if you would like to talk about this, if you want to do a connection call to see where you are and to see if this is perfect for you, I'm 100% open to that. I want to make sure that you are in the right space in order to be in this program. And if not, that's okay. We'll start working with other things that you need to do. And all the things. Don't feel the scarcity, because there's no such thing as scarcity. There will be other programs that are, when it's this time to work on this, you will know when it will be the perfect time. So don't force this. Don't rush into this. Very important. We cannot force and rush our sexual energy and our feminine to open. That's the opposite of what we want to do with her, especially with this kind of work. All right, my loves. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.